يظهر تقدم جديد في جميع المجالات بدون حدود أو عوائق، وسعينا للوصول إلى العالم المثالي نحتاج دوما إلى مهندسين مبدعين بأفكار غير مسبوقة. إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم، ولهذا تواجدنا اليوم.
As technology becomes increasingly important and far-reaching, the demand for innovative engineers and unprecedented ideas will grow more. Indeed, Allah won't change the condition of the people until they change what's in themselves, and that's why we are all here.
واليوم هو أول أيام مؤتمر Interact with Today's World، بوابتنا نحو التكنولوجيا الحديثة والمتطورة ومجرد نمط الحياة السريعة التي نعيشها، وهدفنا هو نشر أحدث ما توصل إليه العلم في مجالات الهندسة والعلوم والتكنولوجيا لتوسيع الآفاق والاحتياجات العلمية.
Today is the first day of ITW'15. To catch up with the developing and advanced technologies and keep up with the accelerated lifestyle we are moving through. It aims to unleash the latest advances in the fields of technology, engineering, and science, to inspire the people to broaden their understanding of scientific needs and development.
لقد حاز مؤتمر ITW على جائزة دارين شونغ الفضية في الأعوام التالية 2009 و2012، وقد قام الفرع الطلابي لجامعة الإسكندرية ITW' ITW'15 بتنظيم 8 نسخ من مؤتمر ITW بدءا من عام 2005 ووصولا إلى عام 2014. وإيمانا منا بالدور الفعال، فقد حرص فرعنا الطلابي على تأكيد هذا الدور من خلال التقديم ساعة منه لعام 2015.
ITW has been awarded the Dartron Silver Award in 2008, 9, and 12. IEEE Alexander Student Branch has organized 8 episodes from ITW, starting from 2005 to 2014. And because we believe in the effective impact of this conference, we decided to organize the 9th episode in order to continue benefiting humanity.
IEEE is the world's association dedicated to innovation and excellence in humanity. Technology مهندسي الكهرباء والإلكترونيات، وتعتبر أضخم مؤسسة علمية احترافية على مستوى العالم تسعى لتطوير الإبداع التكنولوجي وتحقيق أقصى استفادة منه للإنسانية. IEEE تسعى إلى تشكيل مجتمع له تأثير علمي من خلال المنشورات والمؤتمرات البارزة في مجال التكنولوجيا، بالإضافة إلى أنشطة علمية مختلفة.
تم تأسيس الفرع الطلابي لجمعية مهندسي الكهرباء والإلكترونيات الفرع الطلابي بالإسكندرية في العام الأكاديمي 2000-2001. ومنذ ذلك الحين أصبح من أنشط الفرع الطلابية التي أنشئت في القسم المصري. أصبح القسم المصري يشغل دورا بارزا ومكانة لها تأثيرا بين كل الأقسام الأخرى في المنطقة الثامنة التي تضم الشرق الأوسط وأفريقيا وأوروبا. ويضم الفرع الطلابي بالإسكندرية أكثر من 600 من مختلف الأقسام والثانويات، وكان ذلك من ضمن أسباب أن يكون أكبر فرع طلابي على مستوى المنطقة الثامنة والثاني أكبر فرع على مستوى العالم.
وكان الفرع الطلابي لجامعة الإسكندرية من أفضل الفروع الطلابية وفق تصنيف IEEE في المنطقة الثامنة في عام 2010 2011 2012 و2014. كما حصل على المرتبة الثانية في مسابقة أحسن موقع إلكتروني في المنطقة الثامنة في عام 2010 2011 و2014. وفي عام 2015 حصل على المركز الأول في نفس المسابقة.
IEEE Alexander Student Branch was founded in the academic year 2000-2001. Student Branch has been one of the most active branches established under Egypt's local section. Egypt's section, in turn, does occupy a significant seat weight among many other sections in Region 8, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. Alexander Student Branch has more than 650 members of different sections and grades, which makes it the biggest student branch in Region 8 and second biggest student branch worldwide.
IEEE Alexander Stream Branch has been awarded the Region 8 Exemplary Student Branch Award for the years of 2010, 11, 12, and 14. Besides, it has taken the second ranking in the regional website contest for the years of 2010, 11, and 14, and the first ranking in the year of 2015 in the same contest. And for this year, ITW'15 has additional edits to raise the value presented in the conference. There will be parallel advanced sessions for the graduates, workshops, funny competitions, and more importantly, the exhibition, where corporates will introduce their new products.
IEEE Alexander Student Branch بيرحب بيكم في الأوبننج سيرموني ITW'15 وإن شاء الله ينول إعجابكم ويكون معاكم على مدار اليوم أسماء كمان
ورغب الحسن.
And now is the opening speech with Dr. Ahmed Sharabi, IEEE Alexander Student Branch Advisor.
السلام عليكم. طبعا احنا صحيح وبدري فمش عايزين نطول عليكم. بس انا عايز اعرف الناس اللي هي مش انجينيرنج اساسا. انا واحد منهم مش كليتهم بس. ارفعوا ايدهم او لهم يقصوا اسمهم منهم. انا مش شايف ممكن تقوموا تقفوا. الناس اللي مش انجينيرنج انتوا. نصحى كده منهم. تمام. بقيت الناس دي كلها هندسه ولا نايمه؟ هندسه؟ اوكي. انا مش هطول عليكم في السبيتش، معظم الحاجات اتقالت، بس انا هدي انتروداكشن على IEEE بالنسبه للناس اللي مش انجينيرنج. IEEE زي ما احنا سمعنا The World's Largest Professional Association. وظيفتها هي الابداع والانوفيشن ناحيه التكنولوجيا. زي ما احنا قلنا في حاجات كتير بقى بنشوفها IEEE بتعملها زي الستاندردز، الكونفرنسز، الببليكيشن. دي السيرفيس اللي هي بتقدمها. طب IEEE اختصار لايه؟ Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. هيدكوارتر في نيويورك سيتي. المؤسسه فيها 375,000 عضو كلهم طبعا مهندسين. was founded in 1963 والفاونديشن بتاعها كان 150 ممبر، منهم 150,000 ممبر، منهم 140 واحد، 140,000 في امريكا. الفيجن زي ما احنا سمعنا الفيجن بتاعتها ناحيه الابداع ناحيه التكنولوجيا. لو عايزين نقول الميشن في كلمه واحده ان احنا foster technologies innovation and excellence for the benefits of humanity. الابداع ده لازم يتوجه ان احنا نخدم البشريه. السيرفيسز اللي احنا بنقدمها publications في publication scientific ناحيه IEEE Explore Digital Library. ده المجتمع العلمي كله طلبه الماجستير والدكتوراه والاندر جراد بيسافروا في الرسالة. كل الابحاث بتاعتهم ان هي تتنشر في الكونفرنسز العالميه، والكونفرنسز دي كلها بتبقى الاورجنايز منها تبع IEEE. كل الابلكيشنز بتاعتها البيبرز بتتنشر في IEEE Explore Digital Library. في IEEE Spectrum الناس المشتركه في IEEE كستودنت او غيرهم بيجي لهم سبيكترم. دي ظبطها كده حاجه شبه الانترنت اللي احنا فيه النهارده، ان يقدم النيو توبكس تكنولوجيز للناس عشان تبقى عندها اويرنس. تمام؟ ان انت تعرف ايه الحاجات الجديده اللي موجوده في الدنيا ناحيه التكنولوجيا. زي الانستتيوت دي نشره اخباريه بالنسبه للستودنتس ان هم يبقوا اوير بالانشطه اللي موجوده في الستودنت فيرست الموجوده المختلفه على مستوى العالم. نيجي للستاندردز. IEEE حوالي في 1300 ستاندرز. ستاندرز يعني ايه؟ معيار الناس بتشتغل عليه، شبه ايه؟ شبه الواي فاي مثلا. انت الواي فاي ستاندرد نازل من IEEE 802.11. في جي ان واي وبي وسي، في كذا تايب من الستاندرز. الستاندرز دي كلها نزلها IEEE بعد كده الشركات بتشتغل عشان يبقى كل الشركات كل البرودكتس اللي اكوردنج للستاندرد، وبالتالي يبقى كلها كوهيرنت مع بعض، تقدر تشتغل مع بعض. تمام. في كونفرنسز، في اكثر من 1400 انيوال كونفرنس بتنظموا تبع IEEE. الكونفرنسز دي بيلتقي فيها مين؟ البروفيسورز والستودنتس اللي هم بينشروا الساينتفك بيبرز اللي كانت في IEEE دول بيشتغلوا. لو جينا بصينا على الريجنز هنلاقي الريجنز متقسمه بالشكل ده. احنا فين؟ احنا في ريجن 8 اللي هو بيضم افريقيا والشرق الاوسط وروسيا. جوه ريجن 8 في ايجيبت سيكشن، اللي هو جوه الايجيبت سيكشن في سيكشنز كتير منها سيكشن السب سيكشن اللي في مصر اللي في اسكندريه، والسب سيكشن اللي في اسكندريه ده احنا جوه الاكزامينر ستودنت برانش. زي ما سمعنا في المقدمه، دي ابرز الجوائز اللي احنا حصلنا عليها. سكند بليس 2014 في الويب كونتست، في الويب سايت كونتست، والفيرست بليس السنه دي. سكرين شوت. ITW زي ما احنا سمعنا ابتدى 2005، كان بادئ نشاط مع المكتبه في حاجه اسمها بري اينشتاين ايفنت. بعد كده احنا خدنا الليد ان احنا نعمل بيج كونفرنس جوه المكتبه ناحيه التكنولوجي، نقدم حاجه مختلفه للناس. الهدف منه اللي احنا تراكت مع موجوده في الدنيا، يبقى عندك اويرنس ايه اللي موجود، مش اللي انت تبقى بتقرا عن الحاجه دي. لا، احنا بنحاول نجيب لك سبيكرز من كل الدنيا يحاولوا يوصلوا لك النيو تكنولوجيز الموجوده عشان انت تبتدي من النقطه دي. طبعا وجود السبيكر مش زي ما انت تقرا في الارتكل، هتتكلم معاه، ممكن تشوف انت ممكن تعمل ايه بعد كده، تنتراكت معاه ازاي، هتعمل ايه في المستقبل. اوكي، مش هطول عليكم، شكرا جزيلا. Thanks, Dr. Rahman. And continuing the opening speech, we'll have Mr. Anders Rosland, founder and CEO of SmartStones. Mr. Anders founded SmartStones Tech, the world's first wearable communication device for non-verbal communication, amongst a small group specifically designed to mobilize care and support in emergency and maintain emotional bond with the loved ones.
Prior to SmartStones, Mr. Andreas was Senior Director, Brand Experience for the Go-To Products at Cypress. He was a Design Manager and Creative Director across 3 continents at Philips Design. He is passionate about improving quality of life via simple ambient product and service. Please all welcome Mr. Forsman.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Andreas Forsland. I came here from California. Thank you for the warm introduction. I've had a wonderful time here in Alexandria for the past day. It took me 2 days to get here, so I'm going to enjoy as much of Alexandria as I can while I'm here. But my opening today, I wanted to show you a little bit more about me and my perspective, and I want to associate my experience and my observations of what's been happening in North America with what's happening here in Egypt. So, one of the things that I've observed in my career, I started my career in 1995, and my first job was with IBM. Back in 1995, IBM pioneered this concept of e-commerce. And if you Google e-business right now, if you want to, you'll notice there was a little letter E that IBM used for representing e-business and basically taking businesses onto the internet. So that's when my career started, and I left college and I jumped into the real world. From there, my experience there was really exciting because I was involved in a team that helped create the very first intranet for IBM. I also worked with a number of other IBM customers. My background is actually design. I'm not an engineer, but I've spent about 20 or so years in the technology field as a designer and as a researcher and as a strategist. So my career took me around the country, across the United States. I worked at Philips Electronics. I worked there in North America. I worked in Europe, South America, and I managed teams in Asia, India, South America, and North America. After leaving Philips, I moved to California, near Los Angeles, and I had the great pleasure of working with a company called Citrix. And Citrix makes software for online collaboration. So you can have video conferencing like Skype and other types of things, but for large groups. And then after leaving Citrix, I started SmartStones, which you'll hear about later today. But one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, and just over the past 24 hours, I've had the really wonderful opportunity to meet with several individuals and volunteers here in the Alexandria Student Branch. And I learned really about that you guys have been doing this for about 15 years, and really putting the foundation in place for a transformation. I want to kind of correlate that on a timeline with Silicon Valley. Raise your hand if you've heard of Silicon Valley. Yeah, it's the home of Apple and Facebook and Instagram and all these other cool companies. But those cool companies haven't always been there, right? Those types of really what they call unicorns. Those types of companies have just sprung up out of nowhere, it seems. But Silicon Valley has actually been around since 1890. And what's interesting about Silicon Valley is it was kind of like it is here in Alexandria or in Egypt. There wasn't much industry there. It was farming and agriculture. It was very dry and arid. There really wasn't much going on in the realm of technology at all. It all began with the University of Stanford. So in 1890, Stanford goes to Silicon Valley, before it was even called Silicon Valley. And for about 50 years, the school is in place, grooming kids and teaching kids to really excel in all the traditional academics. But it wasn't until the 40s and the 50s, 1940s through the 1950s, where the dean of engineering at Stanford had the bright idea to encourage their students to go out and become more entrepreneurial and to start businesses. So as you see, the transformation of Silicon Valley really happened because of its students in the university and the support of the university to make transformation happen. And encouraging not just the development of your skills, but the development of the whole human being. This is a room full of brilliant people, and you're spending lots of time working on your skills, your technical skills. But one of the things that I've learned in working in California and in Silicon Valley is that people care as much or more about who you are as an individual and your passion and your heart. So I want to leave something with you today, is to think a little bit about how you can develop your heart and your passion for what you're doing, not just your technical skills. Technical skills are easy to learn. You have to work on your emotional IQ, so your EQ as well. So after the 40s and 50s, you'll think about some of the companies that rose out of that time. How many people have heard of HP? I'm sure some of you have a laptop or something that they made. They came out of the 40s and 50s. Xerox PARC, you guys have heard of this? So a lot of early industrial technology companies were born out of Silicon Valley. But what was really interesting, when you think about this combination of technical skills with emotional skills and passion, right, is that a community really emerged. And there's something that is so powerful about going into the Valley today. When you meet individuals that are investors or business owners or managers or interns at companies, the one thing they all have each other. And this concept of reciprocity, or giving back to the community with the belief that the community will give back to you when you need it, is a belief system that is really thriving in Silicon Valley, and it's a big part of why it is what it is today. So when I talk about transformation, it really does start from the community. And so one of the things I want to leave with you is obviously you're here to learn over the next 3 days. There are going to be some phenomenal speakers that we're going to be hearing from that are going to fill your brains up with really rich knowledge. And your brains are going to grow over the weekend. But I want you to think about the whole you and how you as an individual can grow. Because growth is not going to come just from knowledge. Growth is going to come from relationships. So as a part of this experience over this weekend, I would encourage you to please network and interact with each other. This will not be a successful event if you do not walk away with at least 10 to 20 more friends than you came with. Develop those friendships and find people that you have nothing in common with. That's another thing about Silicon Valley, is what's great about this event are there students that you guys are studying lots of different types of engineering or different types of trade skills. The best thing you can do is understand how you can work together and complement each other, so that you can create more interesting things. Because it's when you collaborate that is the sense of giving, that you can give your ideas and your passions and you can give it to someone else, and that contribution that you can make to one other person or an entire group has a lasting effect that continues to grow and continues to build the social, the cultural momentum. So, as a result of 15 years of the volunteers contributing to this community, they've done it purely based on heart and conviction that they believe that their volunteerism and their generosity of their time and their energy and their love of this industry and this community is about paying it forward and giving it back to you, because they know it will come back. So if you could please join me in applauding this lovely group of individuals. It's a remarkable contribution that they've given to you. So I want to ask you, if you can, all of you, whoever you have smartphones, if you have Twitter, please pull out your phones. I have a Twitter feed here. And I want to encourage you to think about this weekend. And I put this up here because we may be talking about it frequently throughout the days. But think about this and post a tweet as the ideas occur to you to say, I will give something to this community this weekend. What do you have in talent, ideas, creativity, networks of friends who might be helpful for someone else? How can you give something small of yourself as an individual to the community? And tweet about it. And my second request is that you think about a vision. Silicon Valley had an inflection point in the 40s and 50s, and look at what they've become today. You're in that inflection point today. You have a critical mass of passionate, talented individuals in the student base. What do you dream for the next 10 years in this community? What does it look like? What do you want it to be like? And how can you start to contribute a small piece to that vision? Tweet about it. So I want to leave you with a couple of proverbs. This one I think is quite fitting because what we need to do is, with that entrepreneurial spirit, with that ability to give back to the community, we need to think beyond just making a living and living paycheck to paycheck and start to create a life as a group and as a society. I recently read one other proverb that I want to share, and I'm sure some of you have heard it. It's actually an African proverb, and it simply goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Frostland. We're looking forward for the next session. Thank you. تابعوا معنا شاشة تويتر خلال السيشن. سيتم طرح 3 أسئلة عن المحتوى، وأكثر 5 أشخاص سيتوصلون الإجابات الصحيحة لهم جوائز في آخر اليوم.
وأول سيشن معانا النهارده عنوانها نانو فوتونكس اند بلازمونكس اللي هيقدمها لنا بروفيسور صلاح حبيع. حصل الدكتور صلاح حبيع على ماجستير والدكتوراه في الالكترونكس اند كوميونيكيشن انجينيرنج من جامعة المنصورة.
In his PhD dissertation,
in the chat.